Go. Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. I'm going to do a reading for Virgo energy, and this time we're using the Tea Leaf Fortune cards, and we're going to see what kind of message wants to come out with that. We'll obviously have to get clarifiers on it to fill out the story. And like usual, we're going to do 2 rows. The top row is High Vibe Virgo energy, and the bottom row is kind of a more worldly focused Virgo energy, because Virgo energy can be about what our long-term goals are in life, and it just depends on what we're motivated and inspired by in the world. Okay, and we have a lot of cards not showing themselves, so that makes it more interesting. Let me turn down the cards to show you. And it could be a conflict and struggle going on within you or other people in the world. But there's definitely going to be some people that are harnessing high vibe Virgo energy that have learned some lessons in life that they know they don't want to repeat certain ways of being or certain ways of relationship. And they're definitely listening to love and intuition to guide their decisions. And then there's some people who have definitely decided, I'm not doing love. I could get hurt doing love. I don't believe in love. Or I'm more motivated and inspired by the world or myself or indulgence or money. And that's what I think will make me happy. And they've definitely decided to live a more worldly focused life. And everybody has free will. We just need to see the truth about the people that we're in relationship with. And if we're high vibe and we want to be in emotionally nurturing, loving, supportive relationships, and we're in a relationship with someone who's more about indulgence or themself or money or materialism or something is more important to them, we just need to see the truth of it. Okay, I'm going to pull these closer because these cards have small print on them. Okay, let's go see. The top row might be people who are really taking a lot of time in their Virgo energy to work on things, and other people in their life don't really know all this is going on behind the scenes since these cards aren't showing themselves. But the reason for the reading is the wall in reverse, which is misunderstanding. So something that they're trying to get to where maybe there's no divide and getting clear about the truth. And it could even be with our own dualistic nature, so that in order to move forward in a high vibe way, I think we need to be balanced within ourselves. We all have our worldly nature. We've all got our fears, our insecurities, our more, immature, indulgent, lazy, want what we want nature without putting in work and effort. And in order to get the things of the world that we want, I think the best way to go about it is to love our worldly nature, offer ourselves compassion and forgiveness, and work together with our worldly nature, not in like denial of it, or just like, oh, I'm just going to be loving and ignore that, other people are selfish or greedy, or be in my shadow energy and not align with my emotions and my intuition. To get the most of what we want in the world is to be balanced within ourselves. And maybe it's to clear up a misunderstanding or just be more balanced within ourselves. And then we have tent in reverse, which is temporary situation. So letting go of something that was a temporary situation, realizing what in our life that we could have been moving forward with because of a misunderstanding, and it really is something we want to pursue long term. Oh no, let's go see. We have door in reverse. Opportunities are waiting for you. Cobweb, protected from negative forces beyond your control. Kite in reverse, vacation. Broom, new home, new attitude. And grasshopper in reverse, situations in the balance that require careful handling. Okay, let's go get some tarot on it. Some people could feel like what they're in right now, they could reject something they're realizing is no longer an opportunity, seeing that something isn't an opportunity. The web kind of makes me think about that we can get caught up in things, up in our head, up in our emotions. And so if we realize something is no longer something we can keep pursuing, and maybe connecting in with our emotions and our intuition, protecting us from negative forces and doing that work within ourselves, before people could have been dealing, you might have known people that are kind of flighty, that kind of just want to indulge, like life's a vacation, and being in sometimes people get in relationships with people just to rest, like, oh my god, now I don't have to go look for anybody else, I feel more stable and grounded, and it's just kind of a vacation resting spot, but they never do the work to put in the work and effort to really bring the dream into reality with you. And so some people are realizing that there might be some people in their life or ways of living their life they need to let go of. New home, new attitude. And then what was this? Situation in the balance that requires careful handling, and the grasshopper. I think some people are getting ready to do something differently. They've done this work within themselves, and the broom card is like cleaning up the cobwebs, getting clear about our thinking, Virgo. Oh, and it doesn't matter if you're a Virgo sun sign or dealing with someone who's a Virgo sun sign. We all tap into Virgo energy. So listen to your intuition about where you are in the story and where some other people are in your life and how they harness, because we all harness Virgo energy. We either harness it in a high vibe way, we either do this work and know which things in high vibe we should no longer pursue. That door is shut. I'm not going to live my life like that anymore. I'm not going to be tempted by my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego. I might have to work through my own fears and insecurities and emotions. This isn't a time to rest. It's a time to put in the work to get clear about my truth so that I can take that leap of faith and clear up misunderstandings and go after what I want long term. Tell us about the door in reverse. Opportunities are waiting for you. 7 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, because of the 4 of Pentacles. If you know some people are defensive and they juggle, they're defensive to being more balanced or working things out with you. We have to, and they're holding back. People who are motivated and inspired by the same things that we are, who are free and available to work together with us and are willing to work together with people from an energy of justice and fairness and love, those people would. And the people who aren't, don't. So if we realize that, some people are defensive, some people don't like it when other people are balanced. It's like, what? How'd you get balanced? Like, well, I did the Virgo work. I did the work within myself to get out of my fears and insecurities and learn some lessons in life and heal from past pain and heartbreak, that I'm willing to stand up for myself and take some bold, brave, creative action in my life to love myself. And that's what helped me get balance. And then some people are like, oh, well, I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. I don't like people who are balanced. Why do some people not like other people who are balanced? Because they kind of either like being in relationship with people who are more fearful and insecure or codependent on them, or they're in shadowy Leo energy. They like to be in relationships with people they can manipulate. I want to play on your fear and your insecurity and your immaturity or your lust or your greed or your codependency or your want for stability and security. And if you're balanced and you like love and believe in yourself and you want a just and fair relationship and you're not letting me manipulate you and play on your fears and your insecurities, or whatever, well, then I don't want to be in a relationship with you, because they could be people who don't want to get balance themselves. There's ways of being that they don't want to let go of. And it might be in Leo energy, it could be, I'm emotionally defensive. I don't want to move forward in life differently. I don't want to let go of these ways of being that make me feel safe and secure. And that could just be, I'm emotionally defensive to love. And I don't want to put in the work it takes to work through those issues, to be more balanced within myself, where I could be more just and fair and open and honest and loving and warm with people. Those ways of being make me feel safe. For other people, they're very materialistic in their shadowy Capricorn energy. And that's kind of how they view life. Life's all about money and materialism and status and image and having a certain image or having a certain amount of money and competing in the world. And that could be how they view life. And they don't think there's any higher truth or justice to aspire to. And if other people think there's more to life than living from your ego and indulging yourself or making your life all about money and materialism, well, then if other people aren't on that same page, they could everybody wants to hang out with people who view life the way they do. And if there are people who kind of juggle people, don't really like to emotionally invest in people, because then if something went wrong, well, then they'd have skin in the game. So some people like to hold back in relationships, not really open up and freely give of themselves, and they're more emotionally defensive, and they like to be in relationships, but they want to juggle. I don't really want to kind of face any of my fears and insecurities to be more open and authentic in the world. I like my emotionally defensive nature. It makes me feel safe. And I don't really like to invest in people. And I like to present myself as probably being a person who's in high vibe energy. I'm fair, I'm loyal, I'm committed, but really they're not willing to step outside their comfort zone or grow and mature themselves. And they align with their more worldly nature or emotionally defensive nature, or their more selfish, greedy, prideful, immature nature, and they kind of juggle and they don't really invest in people. So some of you have realized that you don't want to keep living your life like that or with people who are like that. That is no longer an option, because if we kind of juggle standing up for ourselves, we keep repeating an old pattern of ways of relationship to try to get us to learn to stand up for ourselves and believe in ourselves and love ourselves and get more balance within ourselves. And if we're tired of getting in relationships with people who basically come into our life to teach us that lesson, it's like, all right, already, I'm going to do the work. I realize I can't be in a relationship with people like that, even though I might want to hold on to them, because I'm kind of defensive of lifting up my investment within them and moving forward in life, because we all like to stay in our comfort zone. If we have a certain job or friendship or romantic relationship, we'd like that relationship to work, so we don't have to go get a new job, a new friend, a new romantic relationship. But if we've already been illuminated to the truth that basically our dream can't come into reality with those people, we realize we've got to shut the door on that if we want our dreams to come into reality. So tell us about the cobweb and vacation in reverse. Protected from negative forces, like a web of protection around you, which, the good way to have a web of protection around you is to stand up for yourself, speak your truth, be in the energy of love, holding back from people who manipulate you or are selfish or greedy and prideful, and quit investing your time, energy, and effort into people like that. And then to listen to your intuition about the people that you meet in your life, Who are the people who kind of want to, maybe vacation in reverse could be people who want to indulge, And it's like, I want people who put in the work and effort. Goodness. No, I'm not even going to take them. It takes a long time to get through this reading just with these cards, much less if I have cards showing up, not showing themselves. We have the Hangman in reverse, which means putting in the work and effort to be enlightened to the truth, and you're done being stuck. And then we did have two cards that came out that weren't showing themselves. And the reason all of these cards came out is because of the Aquarius star card. You know, we can stay in jobs and relationships with people because we thought a dream was going to come into reality with them. But then we could realize that we have different dreams. Their dream is to maybe be in a relationship where they keep being defensive, where they don't really invest, where it's more materialistically motivated and they want you to stay in the relationship because of the image and the status and looking like a shining star. And you're like, I want to be in a relationship with people who aren't operating from their ego, who aren't immature and selfish and greedy and prideful and egotistical, who are loving and warm and giving and nurturing, who are balanced, who want to hold on to me and stay in a relationship with me because of love, that, they believe in love. And you've been enlightened to the truth that some people, you're harnessing high vibe Aquarius and Pisces energy, having hope and faith and belief in love and healing. And the other people, it might have been revealed that they are harnessing shadowy Aquarius energy, which besides the worldly things could be that they're kind of more about themselves. Like everybody else in the relationship should be willing to put aside their pride and ego, but never me. Very stubborn, prideful, egotistical. And it's like, my dream can't come into reality with people who are like that. And some people are realizing they need to cut some people out of their life that harness these energies in a shadowy way. The Death card and the Page of Cups. So it could be a Scorpio. Scorpio is also a water sign energy, but people who don't have life-giving energy in them. They want to keep repeating the same pattern of relationship. This is the way I like to live my life. I don't plan to move forward any differently. I'm going to move forward being exactly the way I am, where I think life is about money and materialism or indulgence or me being the center of attention, and I'm going to hide from people that I've put an end to love and letting my more authentic, loving nature out in the world to play. Nope, done with that. And you realize you need to put an end to being in a relationship with people who are like that, who haven't grown and matured themselves emotionally, who are unwilling to put an end to their more immature way of being. Sometimes people's ideal relationship is to be in a relationship with people who indulge them like they're a child. You're supposed to be in a relationship with me, indulge me in a relationship like a parent would a child, and I get to be self-centered and prideful and egotistical and immature, and you're supposed to be fearful and afraid of believing in yourself that you're going to keep defending me in a relationship, even though I don't really invest in you in an emotionally mature way. And I could be emotionally shallow and superficial. I could be intimidating and controlling when I don't get what I want. I could be like a private detective in a relationship because I want you to keep indulging me in a relationship. I don't want you to love yourself and believe in yourself and your dreams. I'm trying to get you to stop loving and believing in yourself, shining your light, believing in yourself, because I gave up on loving and believing in myself, and I've made my life about indulgence or the world or ego and image and money, and I want you to make your life about those things too. And some people are like, I've kind of maybe been codependent, having these illusions of love that I can get people to see life from a higher perspective. All we can do in a relationship is encourage other people, provide a loving, stable, encouraging environment, but they have to do the work within themselves to grow up and deal with their own issues. And if they don't, it's kind of seeing that they made the free will choice not to do that. And we're not going to keep indulging them in their poor behavior. And, that we have to have hope and faith and belief that our dreams can come into reality. And even though we could love them and we wish they would move forward with us, if they're not willing to operate from a foundation of love and having that hopeful, believing nature, and they keep wanting to be defensive or be in a relationship more about indulgence or money, we got to wish them peace. So tell us about the Vacation in reverse and the Broom. The Four of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse because of the Emperor. The Four of Swords in Libra energy can be where, we're done taking time to rest and heal from past pain and heartbreak and meditating on the truth of the situation. With Vacation in reverse, it's kind of like I'm done healing. I have meditated on the truth. And if there's people in my life who harness shadowy Aries energy, where again, they can be bossy, controlling, everything is supposed to be about them, their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego, their image. And that's how they live their life, because shadowy Aries is all about the self. I'm going to quit offering love to those people because my dreams can't come into reality with someone who's like that. I want to be in relationships with people who make good decisions in their life, who don't let their fear and their insecurity and their wants and their needs and their lust and their greed, dictate the decisions they make in life. If my life is affected by the decisions they make, I need to be in a relationship with people who make good decisions in life, who take realizing the impact it's going to have on other people. And shadowy people only want to make decisions that are best for them. And then they want other people to make decisions that are best for them too. But yet they don't want to make decisions that are best for everyone else. It's all about them. And so you've healed and realized that you need to make good decisions in your life, that you have learned all these lessons in life. I let my heart run my life, and I realized if I just let my heart run my life, the other aspects of my life can go into the ditch with me. If I just let my mind run my life, and I'm not being practical and grounded and growing and maturing myself and loving myself, and I make my life about indulgence or just money and materialism, that runs my life into the ditch. So high vibe Aries energy of the Emperor is that I have learned how I could have run my life off into the ditch, because we all have these lessons to learn in life. And I've learned those lessons, and I'm not going to let one aspect of me or one or two aspects of me run my life. I'm going to make decisions taking all aspects of me into account. My heart, my mind, my creative, inspired, passionate, creative nature, my heart, my mind, and being practical and grounded and in my Virgo energy of willing to learn lessons in life and grow and mature myself. Because otherwise I can keep clinging to an old way of being and staying in certain jobs and friendships and relationships where nothing is growing there. Nobody is growing and maturing themselves. Nobody is taking bold, brave, confident, inspired action to face some of their fears and insecurities. And we're not growing to our full potential. And I want to grow to my full potential. And I'm going to put in the work and effort to quit kind of maybe being lazy. I've healed, I was in a situation where I've kind of healed from what I needed to heal from, and I'm ready to move forward in a new way. Tell us about the Grasshopper in reverse. Oh, the Hierophant, because of the Tower. So, the Hierophant can represent all those things of the world. Jobs, relationships, how we view ourselves, how we view others, how we view relationships, our philosophy of life. And you're seeing the truth either about your own philosophy of life that was kind of making you stay in fear or insecurity or pride or defensiveness or getting caught up in the illusion of the world, maybe being in relationships for stability or security, or, just hadn't, seeing the truth, or just seeing the truth of the people you've been in relationship with. If you wanted to move forward in a relationship and other people are defensive to that, it's like, well, then we have different dreams. If you want it to be where you juggle and don't invest and don't really bring the dream into reality, I want the dream to come into reality. I want to be in relationships with people who really invest in me. And the Tower card can be about seeing the truth of a foundation, and it could be how you harness your Taurus energy. How do you view relationships? Some people are defensive to love. Some people don't want to harness high vibe Taurus energy. High vibe Taurus energy is people who put in work and effort to have stability and abundance in relationships because they have seen the truth that it's about love, treating other people the way you want to be treated, acting with character and integrity. And other people have a view of relationships where, it's an unstable view of relationships. But it's like, well, you should be in the relationship with me because we have the status and the image and the money and the materialism. Or I think I should be able to be stubborn and prideful and egotistical in a relationship, and you shouldn't love and believe in yourself, so you should just keep staying in the relationship with me that's unstable. Are we willing to put in work and effort to act with character and integrity and make good decisions and make decisions having hope and faith and belief we can heal? And are we willing to put in the work to work through our fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs to move forward together? Some people will do that in a relationship right now. Someone could have been kind of defensive and holding back, and if they're not too much in their ego and they're willing to try to see things from other people's perspective, and they're have some hope and faith and belief, and maybe realize that, I don't know, they've been kind of codependent or wanting people to kind of indulge them. They're kind of realizing, I need to grow up and put in some work and effort into my own foundation, or this foundation will be over. And other people won't be willing to do it. Other people enlighten to the truth of it, and they decide, I'm letting this relationship go. Either people are willing to make the free will choice to be open, honest, authentic, just, fair, loving, act with character and integrity, or that's really not the kind of relationship they want to be in. Because either they're just defensive to being vulnerable in love, and I just kind of want to be a player, or, they kind of like it when the scales of justice are tipped in their favor, and they kind of get to be indulged, and they like to be the boss, and they like to be stubborn or prideful or manipulative. And, eventually we see the truth that we're not on the same page. Okay, the reason for the reading coming out is wall, misunderstanding, and temporary situation. Some people have been defensive of moving forward. They could have gotten themselves in a relationship with someone because they were healing, and either they or the person they're in a relationship realizes, I shouldn't be in this relationship. I could have been doing it because I was defensive. Maybe someone else moved on in a relationship, and I could have gotten in the relationship for the wrong reasons because I was hurt or something and defensive. If someone else came along and made an offer for me to get in a relationship with them, I could have had hope and faith and belief in it, but now I realize that the person I got in a relationship with, we're not on the same page. Okay, tell us about temporary, not a temporary situation, not a misunderstanding. If people are in a relationship with people who are willing to put the work and effort in, they're not willing to juggle those people and be defensive to those people and kind of take some action that would be selfish and greedy. And they're going to keep investing in that relationship because the people they're in a relationship with are loving and warm, and they have a deep, meaningful relationship with them. And those people are willing to keep moving forward with them and giving it everything they've got and are loving and warm. Why would you possibly turn your back on a relationship with people like that unless, you're kind of tempted to act out of pride or ego or selfishness and greed or want to be stubborn and prideful. And the people who realize if I were to do that, I would be letting go of a great relationship. Why would I do that? And they let go of being maybe tempted by the world Taurus energy. Well, I want to be stubborn and prideful and I want what I want. And, I don't want to have to grow and mature myself. I don't want to have to put in the work and effort, even though I have people who are putting in the work and effort. If anybody was tempted to be unjust and unloving, to kind of maybe take a vacation, to let go of a relationship, to go indulge in something, they're seeing that they would be doing that out of pride and ego, and they're not going to do that. Other people have found themselves in a relationship where they want to be in that type of relationship and they're not in that type of relationship. And they're seeing the truth of that. And if they've been trying to love and encourage the people they've been in relationship with to love and believe in themselves and kind of quit, not wanting people to be in a relationship with them more for stability or security or ego or image, but wanting it to be more authentic and loving and warm. That's high vibe Queen of Wands energy. And the other people aren't willing to do that. And they keep wanting to stay maybe in the relationship, but it's more about, I'm happy being in the relationship with you. You're loving and warm. But I can operate from my ego, and as long as you keep indulging me in my kind of emotionally manipulative, stubborn, prideful, egotistical ways, this works out great for me. Yeah, I want to keep moving forward with you. And the other people are like, no, I'm done with that. If you're not going to reconcile yourself with why you act the way you do, to be more authentic and loving and warm and giving it everything you've got, to let go of being more stubborn or prideful or self-centered or whatever, I'm letting this relationship go. I'm going to call judgment on people who harness shadowy Leo, Pisces, Leo, Scorpio, Pisces, Ten of Wands. People who could be more like, well, I want to be in a relationship with you because it's good for my ego and my image, but I kind of emotionally indulge in being a player, and I have these patterns of ways of being in a relationship that I don't want to let go of, and I might be kind of prideful and egotistical and self-centered, and maybe because I have status or image or money or I'm good looking or whatever, I think that you won't let go of me. Or maybe because I indulge you, even though I don't challenge you to grow and mature yourself, I think that you don't love and believe in yourself enough to leave me. And for some people that are in those relationships right now, they don't realize that the person they're in a relationship with has been doing all this work within themselves, that I don't want to stay in a relationship with someone for materialistic reasons. I don't want to stay in a relationship with someone who holds back, who doesn't believe in love, who doesn't act with character and integrity, who tries to manipulate me, might be bossy and controlling, might try to play on my fear or my insecurity or my want for stability and security, or my want to be in a relationship that I'd rather not leave this relationship, and they kind of use that against me. They don't realize the people they're in relationship with are kind of doing this work within themselves to stand up for themselves, to stand up against their own more fearful or materialistic or egoic nature, to look at life from a higher perspective, to put an end to their own ways of maybe being kind of immature. If someone is indulging them, that You know, I don't want to be in a relationship for these reasons. I want to be in a relationship with people who are loving and bold and brave and confident. I want to be in a deep, meaningful relationship, and I'm willing to give it everything I've got to have that new beginning. And I've decided that the way I have been living my life is coming to an end. And if that means certain jobs or relationships that I've been in are coming to an end, I'm no longer making my life about pride and ego. I want to live my authentic life. I want to speak my truth. I want to be with people in my life who really motivate and inspire me, who are loving and warm. I don't want to stay in a job or relationship because of the status or the image, or because I got someone indulging me in my ego or whatever. I want the real deal. I want long-term, emotionally fulfilling, loving relationships, because that's kind of what makes life worth living. And when they call judgment on those shadowy ways of being within themselves, kind of like, won't I be happy just kind of living more from my ego and being defensive to love? I have these people I can work with in my life. I'm repeating an old pattern. I'm not growing and maturing myself, but by worldly standards, it looks great. The only thing is, for some people where that's not their truth, they're finding it overwhelming because it's not their truth, or the people they're in relationship with, it's overwhelming to keep indulging them, or it's overwhelming not living their authentic truth, and they're going to offer love to what it is that overwhelms them. And it could be just, but I wanted to be in a relationship, or I wanted to have a certain type of job or power or influence. I wanted people to view me a certain way, but I could have gotten in something that people viewed me a certain way. But if I came to find out that this is not aligned with my truth, am I willing to let the ego and the image or the money or the status be what makes me stay in it, when it's overwhelming? This isn't my truth. And I've realized, it could have seemed like it was my truth, and I was putting in the work and effort to have it be my truth. But if both people aren't putting in the work and effort to make that the reality, and it's more the facade of being that's when it's overwhelming. And that's when some people are going to say, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to love and believe in myself enough to let go of this, to go live my authentic life, to love myself enough, to believe in myself enough, to be loving and nurturing and compassionate and forgiving to myself for the lessons I've had to learn, to be loving and compassionate and forgiving to the people I've known in my life and the people I might have been in a relationship with, to just let it go. Everybody is where they're at. Probably a lot of people are trying to do the best they can, but then there are some people that are bossy and controlling and defensive and self-centered, and it's like, you know what? You go live your life. I can't live my life with you being like that. And I'm going to go find the people in the world who are more authentic and loving and warm. I don't want to live in my ego and keep my authentic truth buried. What way of life is that to live? But there's some people who hold back from living their authentic life and being their authentic self in the world because they're so afraid of being judged. What would people say if I really were in the relationship with the people I really wanted to be in a relationship with? What would people say if I really was in the career field and did the things I really loved? Don't I have to maintain a certain status and image? Or isn't money and materialism the most important thing? And I don't know if I'd have the money and the materialism. There's no pentacles over here. This is earth sign energy. These two are earth sign energy, being motivated and inspired by the world, which can be our ego. Isn't it about having certain status and image, looking like a shining star in the world? Isn't that the most important thing? My status and my image and money? It is if you think it is. Everybody puts in work and effort to have stability and security and want to enjoy the finer things in life. And the people who love and believe in themselves are in the flow of the universal energy of creativity and inspiration. They believe that, I don't know how, but I believe that if I keep working with the divine, the divine's going to help me manifest those things into reality. And some people have given up hope on that and they think I just have to work with the world. No, I don't love and believe in myself enough to believe that I can manifest it. I know I need to go get in a relationship with someone who has those things in the world. And then I need to be in a relationship with them and stay in a relationship with them because they have already maybe created it. And I don't believe I can create it. The whole thing is, we're creating our life. We're manifestors. We manifest what our life is going to be like next week, next month, next year, and the next 10 years from now, based on what we believe. Yeah, maybe working with things of the world that already exist is the quicker way. But the divine wants us to have our divine inheritance. And it does take longer, maybe, because we have to be creative and inspired. And we have to do the work. Virgo energy, we have to invest time, energy, and effort into the things that really motivate and inspire us and listen to our intuition to guide us to bring those things into reality. And the divine's plan for our life is much bigger and much better than what we in our pride and ego could have thought of on our own. Some of the people who didn't think people would love and believe in themselves are having a tower moment because they're seeing that people are loving and believing in themselves and they're not willing to stay in relationship with them for the money or the materialism or the status or the image, because the other people are letting go of that and those things aren't what's most valuable, important to them as love and being true to their truth. And the other people have never let go of that, so they didn't think you would let go of it, and you did. Okay, let's go down here to the bottom row. And since we covered so much of the shadowy energy up there, the bottom row will go quicker. They're not showing the tiger doing something risky, taking a chance. Wishbone, a wish is granted. So they weren't willing to put in the work and effort to work through, making good decisions and acting with character and integrity and listening to their intuition. They wanted what they wanted and they wanted it now. So they took a risk to hold back from the loving people in their life, hoping that the loving people would love and believe in themselves and that they'd be willing to do the relationship their way. And some of those people took a risk one last time, and that was the final straw. And someone's like, that's it, I'm done. And that's what happens when you have the free will in a relationship to be open and honest and loving and just and fair and kind and encouraging and supportive and compassionate and empathetic. And somebody said, I could, but no, I have a better idea. I'm going to hold back from them. I'm going to be defensive to them. I'm going to juggle them. I bet they won't believe in themselves. I bet they'll do it my way. And for some, they were wrong. Because the reason for their reading is the hammock. They want to take a vacation physically or mentally. I don't want to have to put in the work and effort it takes to be just and fair. I want to make decisions that are just for me. And they're going to have plenty of time to make decisions that are just for them. And they also then could be people who want to be indulged. And also what they're hiding, sunrise in reverse, new creative ideas, new ventures, fresh starts. Nope, not willing to do that. January, nope, not willing to do January. January is the month of, January is the month of January, but that represents the zodiac signs of Capricorn and Aquarius. High vibe Capricorn, shadowy Capricorn in the Four of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles is people who are aligned with their more worldly, egoic, defensive, materialistic nature. High vibe Capricorn is people who are willing to put in the work and effort to free themselves from their more base worldly nature to live a more enlightened life from love. And they reject, and then Aquarius energy is the Star card, which also overlaps with January. No, not willing to look at life from a higher perspective. Don't have hope and faith and belief in healing. Don't want to put in the work and effort to do anything differently. I want to keep doing things the way I've done it. And carriage in reverse, a journey, either physical or mental. Like, nope, not willing to do that. And they hide that from the world. They get in relationships trying to make people think they harness high vibe Virgo energy, that they harness all these other zodiac signs in a high vibe manner, maybe present themselves, could be very successful in life, could be attractive, could seem like they're very stable and grounded and pillar of society, but really they're people who took a risk, for one, to get in a relationship with people who are motivated and inspired by love, and to try to get in a relationship with someone like that, presenting yourself as being that way too, when you're not, well, that's a risk. Because eventually the high vibe people are going to listen to their intuition. And they're going to realize that the dream never seems to come into reality. And they're going to wonder why. And they're going to do this work. And then they could realize, oh my gosh, I think this person kind of manipulated me, thinking if they got me in the relationship, that I would be caught up in the illusion of the world too, and be willing, kind of like blackmailing me. Well, let's get in the relationship. I'll present myself as loving and just and fair and all that. But really, I'm kind of emotionally manipulating you, hoping that if I get you in the relationship, because of the ego and the image and the status, and you not willing to leave it, maybe because what would people say? What would people think? That you'd keep staying in it. Well, that's a risk they took. And for some of them, it didn't turn out the way they thought. People were not willing to keep moving forward in relationships with people who are emotionally cold and detached and maybe emotionally unbalanced, who don't move forward in the energy of love. And they have left them to go on vacation and go indulge trying to find someone else to get in a relationship with. So let's just get a little tarot story for these people down here that are in shadowy energy, who think their dreams can come into reality without putting in work and effort, maybe relying on their looks or their how much money they have or whatever, to hope people will want to be in a relationship with them where they don't have to put in work and effort, or heal, or deal with their past pain and heartbreak, and just think they can be indulged in a relationship. Queen of Swords, Two of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Pisces, or the Hangman, because of the Moon card. So we have some people who live in illusion. That's what Pisces energy can be about. I live in illusion. I think I have this idea that I want to bring into reality. I want to be in a relationship, look like a shining star, look like I have it all, but I'm defensive to love. I don't want to align with, in high vibe Cancer energy, with really being, a loving, nurturing, supportive partner. I might have done that before and it didn't work out. I felt betrayed. So now I just create an illusion. I go out in the world, I'm defensive, I feel betrayed, I'm defensive to really loving other people, but I want to be in a relationship. So I'll create the illusion that I've looked at life from a higher perspective, that I'm loving, that I want to have a new beginning, but I'm really operating more out of pride and ego. Some of the other people that I might have been in relationship with could have loved me, wanting me to have a new beginning, to look at life from a different perspective and expand my perception of life and myself and the world, and to work through my fears and my insecurities and my past pain and heartbreak. And now I held my sword up to them, and those people became enlightened to the truth that I just create an illusion, and those people moved on from me. But I'm going to create an illusion that I was the one who was betrayed, that I'm loving, that I was willing to invest in the relationship, that they were the one who was prideful and egotistical and stubborn. And eventually people see through the illusion. I don't think you were the one who was willing to grow and mature yourself and try to encourage other people to love and believe in themselves. I think you were the person who is defensive to love, because now I got in a relationship with you and I'm trying to bring the dream into reality, but you seem to be acting kind of stubborn and prideful and unwilling to see things from my perspective. And you seem to invest more in being stubborn and prideful and trying to maybe emotionally confuse me, and maybe being emotionally cold and defensive to me because I do have hope and faith and belief and love, and I'm trying to move this relationship forward, and you seem to be defensive to it, which I find confusing. And eventually people do the work within themselves to figure out why is this person the way they are, and then they're illuminated to the truth. Oh, this person isn't who they said they were. They just created an illusion, and I bought into the illusion. Why? Because I had lessons to learn. That not everybody that I meet and people that I'm attracted to and people I might love and people who I might want to have move forward with me in life, they're really not interested in doing that. They want to keep living life the way they live it, and hopefully get in relationships with other people who will decide, I have fear about loving and believing in myself and expanding my perception of myself and what I believe is possible, that I'll keep investing in the illusion with you, and we'll just create a life of illusion. So other people will really be free to live their life, being in open and honest relationships with loving people who are authentic and warm, and we'll just stay in the relationship creating the illusion that it's that. Tell us about the hammock card here, the reason for the reading. So if they can find someone who is willing to stay in a relationship, it looks great by worldly standards. I have fears and insecurities of my own. I'm kind of prideful and egotistical. I want those things of the world. I'm willing to invest in this illusion with you. The Ten of Cups, the Six of Wands, the King of Swords, because of the Queen of Wands. Some people are willing to stay in a relationship with people like this because so long as the illusion is maintained that it's loving and warm and moving forward in a successful way where by worldly standards it looks like it's just and fair, they're willing to stay in it. But if these people who are in shadowy energy get in another relationship with someone else who harnesses high vibe Leo energy, has hope and faith and belief and love, who doesn't like to be manipulated in relationships, and eventually they have inner conflict being in a relationship with someone like this, and they start to take some action to get out of their ego to see the truth and realize that they feel like I'm kind of being manipulated, that maybe this person wants to be in the relationship with me because of ego and image and status. It's good for their ego and image and status if I stay in it, or I feel like I'm being emotionally manipulated, that they're more in the relationship because of ego or image or status, and realizing it's not love. Eventually the cycle is going to repeat itself, and some people who love and believe in themselves are going to stand up for themselves and say, no, if this isn't just and fair and you don't get out of your ego and your self-centeredness and your emotionally manipulative ways and your bossy controlling ways, then I'm going to end this relationship. So, but if they find someone who's willing to invest in the illusion, then I guess they found someone who's on the same page as them, because they might be defensive to love too. And if we all get in relationships with people kind of who can be on the same page as us, have the same pain and heartbreak, have some of the same fears and insecurities, so long as neither one of them are inspired by truth or justice and maybe keep ignoring their intuition and keep telling themselves that this is just and fair, well, then that's what they'll manifest in their life. But it is kind of shadowy energy where it isn't people really operating from love. It's more like because of fear or insecurity or codependency or immaturity and they or lust or greed, and they found someone who's on the same page as them. And if that's how they want to live their life, that's fine. Other people didn't. Other people are going to get out of those relationships. Some people could be getting out of those relationships right now, and they're going to speak their truth that they have done this work within themselves and they're not willing to keep maintaining the illusion, even though people maybe didn't know what was going on and everybody could have thought it was really wonderful, looked like by worldly standards. People are willing to speak their truth that I could have been in it, you know, I could have gotten in it with good intentions, poor intentions, whatever, but I've seen the truth. And this isn't aligned with my truth. And I am going to go take action in the world to be in friendships and relationships and business partners with people who I think are on the same page as me. And this isn't my truth. So there you go, Virgo energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.